You're not going to believe what happened the night a quiet, single dad janitor was told to fix a broken stage light, because what he lit up ended up leaving the CEO in tears, and by the end, it might just leave you speechless too. If you want more stories that will move your heart and inspire your soul, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe so you never miss the next one. It was nearly midnight at the Grand Auditorium of Silverstone Corporation. The building was mostly empty except for the muffled sounds of the janitor's cart rolling across the marble floor. Ethan Cole, a man in his mid-40s with tired eyes but a kind smile, was finishing up his last shift for the week. His overalls were worn, his hands rough from years of work, but his movements were steady and careful. Every night, he scrubbed floors, polished railings, and mopped spills no one would ever thank him for. Ethan didn't mind much. He wasn't there for praise. He was there for his daughter, Lily, a bright, 10-year-old girl with dreams as big as the stars. Since his wife passed away 5 years ago from a sudden illness, Ethan had been both mother and father, working 2 jobs to keep food on the table and a small rented apartment over their heads. Lily had inherited her mother's love for music and had the voice of an angel, though Ethan had never been able to afford music lessons. That night, as Ethan was about to pack up, the building's event coordinator rushed over. "Ethan! The stage light in the main hall just went out. Tomorrow's the big corporate gala. Can you take a look at it?" Ethan nodded. Fixing lights wasn't technically part of his job, but he knew his way around tools. He wheeled his cart into the massive auditorium, where the huge velvet curtains loomed over the empty stage. The light in question hung high above, casting a shadow over the center of the stage. He climbed the creaky ladder, adjusted the wiring, and switched it on. The beam of light snapped back to life, flooding the stage with a soft golden glow. But as the light hit the center, Ethan froze. There, standing on the stage in her school uniform, was Lily. She was holding a small notebook in her trembling hands. "Dad," she whispered, "I didn't think anyone was here. I just wanted to practice for the school showcase tomorrow." Ethan smiled from the ladder. "Go on, kiddo. Sing for me." She hesitated, glancing at the empty rows of seats. But then she closed her eyes and began. Her voice rose like morning sunlight breaking through clouds, pure, rich, and full of emotion. She sang the song her mother used to hum when cooking dinner, the song that had carried them through dark nights. What neither of them knew was that high up in the VIP balcony, the CEO of Silverstone Corporation, Margaret Hale, had just walked in to check the stage preparations. She stopped in her tracks, hearing the hauntingly beautiful melody. She stood still, tears welling in her eyes, memories of her own late daughter flooding back. When Lily finished, the sound of soft clapping echoed through the hall. She startled, and Ethan turned to see Margaret descending the staircase. The woman walked onto the stage, her heels clicking against the wooden floor. She knelt in front of Lily, her voice trembling. "That was the most beautiful thing I've heard in years. You have a gift, young lady." Ethan stepped down from the ladder, unsure if he'd done something wrong by letting his daughter sing there. But Margaret looked at him and said, "Mr. Cole, why didn't you tell anyone your daughter could sing like this?" He shrugged, embarrassed. We don't really have the money for lessons or fancy schools. She just sings at home." Margaret smiled warmly. Money should never be the reason a gift like this stays hidden. She turned to her assistant, who had followed her in. "Get her into the best music program in the city. I'll cover everything." Ethan's eyes widened. "Ma'am, I can't." "You can," she interrupted softly. "I lost my daughter at Lily's age. I know what it's like to want the best for your child and feel powerless. Let me do this." From that night on, Lily's world changed. She got professional training, performed at events, and even sang at the following year's corporate gala, where her voice brought an audience of hundreds to their feet. Ethan, still working as a janitor, no longer walked with just tired eyes. There was a quiet pride there now, the kind that comes from knowing you helped your child's dreams take flight. And every time Lily sang that one song, Ethan would close his eyes and remember that night, the broken stage light, the empty auditorium, and the moment a beam of light revealed more than just a stage, it revealed a future. Sometimes, the smallest jobs, the quietest moments, lead to the brightest lights in our lives. And you never know who might be watching. So, if this story touched your heart, give it a like and subscribe to our channel. You never know, the next story might just be the one that changes your perspective forever. Lily's voice lingered in the air even after she finished, as if the sound had soaked into the velvet curtains and carved itself into the wooden stage. Ethan's hands were still resting on the ladder, his knuckles white, but his heart felt light in a way it hadn't in years. Margaret's heels clicked softly against the stage floor as she took a step closer. The lights from above caught in her eyes,